Hello everybody and welcome to episode 34 of United We Stand with Southend United. Welcome to League One as Southend make their return to the third tier of English football. And believe me, we are in for potentially a bumpy ride this year, as there are some big clubs in this division and it is notoriously hard to get out of. But before we get to the new additions, we have some housekeeping to do because there's a new stadium on the way. And it is 2 years away, the brand new stadium, the Steve Tilson Stadium, named after former manager and club legend Steve Tilson. Smaller capacity than what we're in now, but it's a new stadium. It's a stadium that Southend fans have been crying out for since the mid-2000s. A new home for the Shrimpers is on the way. And speaking of Steve Tilson, after the retirement of legend John Still, Steve Tilson is now our director of football. He has left his job as manager of Maidstone to come back home. And this is his home, Steve Tilson. 60 years of age, one-star reputation, director of football all the way round, has been helping me out so far with the new additions. And it's been a busy summer in and out so far. We'll talk about the outs first of all, as we always do. Sam Dolby has joined Shrewsbury for 185 grand. Christy Pym has gone to Cardiff for 105. Harvey Saunders has gone to Crawley for 92,000. Keenan Fossen has gone to Stevenage, not Southend, in part exchange for another player. And then a couple of free transfers to clubs. Colin's gone to Derry City, as I mentioned in the end of the last episode. Ollie Coker has joined him at Derry City, with Jack Bridge going out on loan to Northampton. We have released a few players as well. And they include Noor, Harry Taylor, Ben Warman, Tom Lapsley and Josh Walker. We have had the proverbial clear out. But we have been busy to replace those that have gone. 9 have come in so far this summer. Daniel Chesters was the first man in the door on a free from Salford City. Thought League One, he played a bit in League One last season, can play right up that right hand side, 24 years of age. Bit of a no-brainer really to back up Brad Halliday. Obviously Scott Morris will probably move on as well. I would have thought, I don't think he's going to be at the level we need him to be for League One. He may well prove me wrong, but at the moment, that's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. So yeah, Daniel Chester's in the door. And we kind of completely revamped that right-hand side. Even though we don't really play with a right winger, James Tilley can play on the left as well. He has joined us from Wimbledon on a free transfer. Another experienced League One player. That was kind of my thinking this summer. Let's go with a bit of experience. Let's get players in who have played at this level before, because it's been a while since Southend have been here. And yeah, their experience is going to be invaluable. He knows where the net is as well, James Tilley. And that's a good acquisition, I think. And he has been joined by a new centre-half, and that is Will Forrester. He has joined us from Bolton on a free transfer. Again, another experienced League One player, 25 years of age. Very much an upgrade on what we've already got. We're probably going to keep Carragher, Gubbins and Crowther. I think that's the thing I wanted to do. Add a bit of experience at this level. I know he's only 25, but he's been in League One with Bolton for quite a while. And yeah, we're just going to see how we get on initially. We might bring in a younger player to be the 5th centre-back, as I like to have, just in case we pick up a few injuries. Now, after the departure of Christy Pym and of Colin, Ryan Schofield has joined the football club from Florites and Tina. Now, we did have to pay for him in the end, £18,000, because somebody didn't read the contract properly. He was going to join us on January the 1st, and that wouldn't have been any good, quite frankly. We have brought in another goalkeeper. You can see who that is. We'll talk about him shortly, but very much happier than what I was at this time last season in the goalkeeping department. And he's a good player, is Ryan Schofield, who's been around a while. Again, only 26, so still quite young, But yeah, looking forward to seeing what he can do. Now, sometimes I get hyper-fixated on a player and I can't help myself. So Matty Daly has joined us from Burton Albion for £99,000. Can play behind the striker, can play in centre midfield. It's an option. He can do two things at once, which is always very good. We tried to sign him last season before he went to Burton Albion, after he left Harrogate. So, yeah, I've kind of just scratched an itch with this one. It's a personal buy, if you like. I like Matty Daly. Very capable footballer. And let's see what he can do in League One. Another decent player that has come in is Dan Kemp. He has joined us from Stevenage for £205,000 overall. Not paying that immediately. Again, another proven League One player. Can score goals. With Andrew Dallas alongside him, we've got kind of a little and large combination going on. That's what I kind of wanted. We're not going to get Will Lancashire back, I don't think, unless Tottenham change their mind between now and the end of the transfer window. So yeah, Dan Kemp is here. Hopefully he will score the goals along with Andrew Dallas to keep us in the division. Moving on to a player that can play as a striker and as a wide man. I'm talking about Jack Aitchison. He has joined us from Exeter City. Has a little bit of League One experience as young Jack. 26 years age. So again, we haven't really gone that old in bringing players in. My thinking was, if we do fall back into League Two, we are best placed to come straight back the other way. But we will see what we can do. We've got some tidy little footballers coming into the football club. It's good to see. And after a bit of wrangling, we have bought in Harvey Cartwright on a free transfer. He was with Hull City. We got him on a free transfer, and he is a bit of quality. This lad has the potential to be a 3.5-star player at this level at least. Will compete with Ryan Schofield. Again, 24 years of age, not old at all. Looking forward to seeing what he can do. It has been a chase that we've had all summer, and we have finally got our man, which I'm delighted about. And last but not least, and probably won't be the last, but he's the last before the season starts, is Thomas Sang. He has joined us on a free transfer. Was with Wigan last season. Will very much improve that right-hand side. When I mentioned earlier about Gus Scott-Morris maybe moving on, this is why. We have three quality right-backs. Brad Halliday will probably drop to third. Thomas Sang will definitely start the season. He is a little bit injury prone. That is my only concern. But he's a decent player for this level and for us particularly. And I just thought I'd show you where we're kind of at the moment in terms of the squad itself. So Will Nightingale is probably going to move on. Can't rely on him. That was the main thing. Last season he was out more than he was in. That's just crazy. We're taking a look at Fabrizio Aganeri. We'll see what we do with that. Isaac Hayden, same thing. Have offered him a contract, but it was a lot more than what he said he wanted. So that probably won't happen, that one. We'll see what happens there. Hepburn Murphy, another striker we're looking at. Just kind of weighing up our options at the moment. Callum Connolly, same thing. George Marsh will probably go. He wants to leave at the end of his contract, or he's looking at his options, and I don't really care, to be honest. Didn't play that well last season, to be brutally honest. Callum Camp, same thing, is looking at his options, so he might not be around come the start of the season. Teddy Bishop is another player we are looking at. I am toying whether I want another injury-prone midfield player or not. I do like Teddy Bishop as a player, so we may well go with that one. Gus Scott-Morris, we've already mentioned. He will probably move on, maybe on loan somewhere. And George Wind will probably go as well. So yeah, there's still a lot of movement to have in the squad. As we prepare for life back in the third tier. Now, notoriously, League One is quite a difficult league to get out of because there are so many big names here. So coming down from the Championship last season, we had Millwall, we had Sheffield Wednesday, and we had Charlton. All in the front running to go up. Huddersfield are in there as well. Bolton Wanderers, Reading, Portsmouth, Rotherham, who are a perennial yo-yoer between the Championship and League One, Lincoln City, Bristol Rovers, Peterborough, straight up into 11th after coming up last season. I mean, it was a surprise they went down in the first place, to be brutally honest. There's us and Colchester tied together, although they think we're just going to finish above the bottom 4. To be honest, I'd take it. Right now, I'd take it. MK Dons, Stevenage, Shrewsbury and Crawley, they reckon are going to be the team. They're going to finish bottom of the pile. The trouble is, well, the trouble with League One, if you get a little bit of a run together, you can force your way into sort of mid-table and above, because there are so many teams that are an equal sort of level. We are definitely the underdogs in this division this season, and it's going to be very hard to repeat what we did last year of going straight up into the Championship. I think it will probably be a season too early if we did it. So yeah, priority, survive in League One, and we'll see what we can do. And we've acquitted ourselves pretty well within pre-season. We've played a wide variety of different opposition, which has kind of sort of led me to where we are with the squad. We did have Ashley Fletcher on trial earlier in the summer. Didn't decide to go with him in the end. So yeah, you know, beating Den Haag, beating Canvey, losing to Leeds, beating Luton, which was a big result for us to be fair, beating Harrogate and losing to Fulham sets us up nicely for the league season ahead. Couple that with a Carabao Cup first round tie with local rivals Colchester. It's going to be a very interesting start to the season, but we are going to come back next time for the first home game of the League One season as we take on Bristol Rovers, who know all about being in League One. They've been here for a little while now. It's going to be an interesting start to the season. MK Dons, Stevenage, Reading, Wigan and Portsmouth in the first 6 of the new season, with Millwall not that far away either. It's going to be interesting. Oh God, we're going to the den early as well. Jesus. Anyway, thank you so much for watching today's video. If you've enjoyed it, please leave a like on it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye.